honourable member for Ottawa Centre.
Mr. Speaker, violence in Iraq is growing. Aid groups are warning of a looming crisis that is spinning out of control. This week, 500,000 people fled Mosul after a heavily armed terrorist group took over the city. Iraq is already struggling to provide aid to 200,000 Syrian refugees, and funding is running low right now. What is the government doing to help with the crisis? Specifically, what concrete steps are they taking to help with the refugee crisis?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Mr. Speaker, Canada is very much concerned by the rise of terrorism in Iraq, and we stand in solidarity with the Iraqi government and the people as terrorists occupy part of the country. Mr. Speaker, Canada condemns all acts of terrorism, and we extend our deepest condolences to the families and friends of those affected by this horrific violence. We will call for restraint on the use of force in populated areas and call on all parties, Mr. Speaker, to refrain from targeting civilians and to protect medical facilities.
Member for Ottawa Centre.
With respect, I think we need a lot more than just words on this particular file, Mr. Speaker. We also have the refugee situation next door in Syria spinning out of control. It's one of the worst humanitarian crises in the last 2 decades. Almost 3 million Syrians have fled their homes, half of whom are children. Canadians want to know what their government is doing to help these families. Will the government tell Canadians how many government-sponsored refugees are here in Canada?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary for Citizenship.
Mr. Speaker, Canada is the 4th largest donor of humanitarian aid to Syria in the world. Canada continues to have one of the most generous immigration and refugee systems in the world. We welcome 1 out of every 10 resettled refugees globally, more than any other industrialized country in the world. Mr. Speaker, since the start of the Syrian conflict, Canada has provided protection to more than 1,100 Syrians. I think the members opposite should reflect on that record and be proud of what our government is doing.